Yeah.
Hang on, business call.
FO's here.
Dafo's here, so he's gonna.
There we go.
Oh, snap. Take it away.
Right. Well, we're back for podcast number 8. We got off the bad luck number 7.
Yeah.
So we've successfully made it. We're still Australia's biggest drifting podcast.
Woohoo!
However, there is a new one starting that.
Yeah, so I've heard about Bill the Smoke. Not that I'm plugging them. You guys still win. They can get plugged. Yeah, we can edit that out. Don't worry about it.
But
Fish and Drifts, number 1.
we're at BENARABY. We're staying in some cabins, apparently looking like houses, but in here for the drift comp that's on tomorrow. And we've got some pretty cool people here, like myself and these guys. But anyway, so we've got myself, Carl, we've got Brad, we've got Banky from the Australian Institute of Motorsport who's come down. Good to have you here.
Thanks, boys.
Should be a good time. We got the original DK, Anthony Thorne.
Nice.
We got Tony, all the way from Melbourne.
Yeah. It's like the coldest place in the world right now. Yeah. In Queensland, this is good.
He's come up to do.
Why have you got clothes on?
Alright.
Get it off. He's come the whole way up to do the MC for the event, which is cool because he also MC'd Rocky Nats, and that was a fat time.
Good time. That's where we found him.
And just so you know, he loves fish and drifts.
Pretty much we just got on the piss and just that was literally it. I was at the bar and you walked up for a drink and we started chatting. Yeah, we were talking shit about drift cars. And good because you have the wig on. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, while you're doing the MC, so I didn't even recognise Yeah. Who's this guy? Yeah, who's this guy? I actually don't have any hair, guys. Fucking good. And then next minute we're talking about drift and then I've gone, hey, that's that guy, You want a gig doing a fucking drift comp? And he's like, yeah, 100%.
Stainsy and Soz from TERRORSQUAD.
TERRORSQUAD boys. Hey,
Brandon shirt. I may have bought a shirt and also, what are they called, banners, aren't they?
Flags.
Glory flag. It was going to be in the background, but I put it away already, so I don't want to get it dirty.
All the merch is there.
Yeah.
Happy to buy.
Just so you know, this is probably going to go up after the drift comp, but Soz will have no merch to sell at the comp. Okay, none at all.
No merch here, guys. No merch here. Just
inbox him on messages.
Alcohol free too.
Alcohol free event.
This is just soda water.
Not to drink.
But anyway, we'll take it off. So, drift comp tomorrow, everybody. Who's excited? Yeah?
Great time.
I'm not more excited for the comp tomorrow than I am when I'm driving.
Yeah.
Well, there's always a little bit of like shitting yourself.
So
you're going into a comp. But when you're judging, it's like,
how chill.
It's so chill. I love it. Like of the times that I have judged, it's been sick. However, the previous times I've judged, there's been heaps more pressure because it's obviously been judging like chop and shit and fucking like.
Yeah.
So having a mix between amateurs and pros this time and it being a first event and being able to like flesh it out and having the round robin format as well is sick because I'm excited about watching the progression from like the lower drivers or the less experienced drivers getting to have that door time with the more experienced drivers and getting pushed better and better and better until
So is there other comps in Australia that have amateur pretty much versus pro
look, it happens in DCA quite often because you do have the opportunity to you can jump into pro if you want to, even if you're a complete novice. There has been those. Yeah, so you're pretty much nominating yourself. You are nominating yourself as a pro. We don't have a qualification thing. However, what Luke usually likes to do is for you to go through L2, do a season at L2, and then go into pro. That's what most people have done. He has made exceptions, and of those rare exceptions, it's been sick because the people have actually been able to drive. If you look comparatively to back a couple of years back when I started drifting in L2 4 or 5 years ago, the pro scene wasn't as saturated with incredibly good drivers. There was definitely like the top 3 and then the rest were kind of half good and then there was a bunch of shit guys. Now, the pro squad and the L2 squad in DCA is full of beasts. Like, it's fucking mental.
Saturated.
100%.
When was the last time DCA ran?
So last DCA was Grab a Grand, a couple.
Oh, so that was DCA.
So that's technically DCA. Yeah. So any of the Grab a Grands.
Yeah, I thought that was just the Archie thing.
It is, but there's DCA State Series, which is usually Archie.
Yeah.
And then there's the National Series as well. So if you ever see a Grab a Grand at Archie, it's DCA.
Yeah.
If Luke Scotty's fucking hat on, bro, it's DCA. 100%.
When was the last time we did a national though? Like it's been a while.
It was just before COVID.
It was before COVID. Is that why it stopped?
100%. Because it just became too incredibly difficult to
logistics to go to Tassie and everything.
The logistics of running those events are fucking mental.
Borders are shut.
And then running them with bullshit restrictions, fucking hard. It's also like, you gotta think it's incredibly taxing to be putting the level of events on that Luke does. Like, I've done heaps of different drifting things in my time, and there's never ever an event that is as fucking full on and as intense as a DCA event. It's mental. They're so sick. And it's not just because of the driving, it's because everyone gets fucking loose before and after.
True.
I've actually got a question coming on to sort of Luke and Archer field. Little Birdie told me that the Speedway is actually trying to sell.
Yes, look, it is trying to sell. It doesn't mean Archer's going anywhere. Yep. I'm not going to commentate on anything in this forum about what could or couldn't happen because at the end of the day, we don't know. What I will say is that we feel confident in where we are now. We're permitted. The council is obviously...
So someone could buy it and continue
someone could buy it, and if they chose to keep the drift park there, that's awesome. And that would hope.
That's the best case.
What we were discussing the other night at the track and what we would like to do, and look, if the R34 had gone as well as we would have liked it to, we would have had a significant amount of collateral here where we could then look at getting angel investors and investment strategy on because we would have had a deposit and we could have looked at making a purchase of that kind to further it on.
But just so you know, I supported that and bought 2 tickets.
If there's one thing I know, right, is I know every single fucking person that bought a ticket because I packed every box. Right, I packed them all. And some of them I had to repack and send again because posties are shit at doing their job.
Absolutely.
And don't put things in a safe place. Shit goes missing.
Sorry, mate. Banky in the shop there?
He's definitely in the shop. I can double check. We're just talking to no one over here.
That's what I'm worried about.
Oh, he's definitely in, bro.
I just like to go for it.
He's in, bro. I'll grab a run while I'm up.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Where I was getting at with like, so looking at
rum.
Best way to explain it. Not so much the Archie situation. Not so much. Yes. Go on, thank you. Could someone buy it? Potentially.
I'm good.
I'm good, bro. I don't drink. I'm sweet. I've got my places. Go there, cannabis. Medical cannabis saved my life. Legit, but anyway. So
that's a different story.
That's a whole different story. So I guess where I'm going with it, right, is like obviously with the not-for-profit and shit, our aim is to be able to further our sport, right, and to be able to prevent shit like this from happening in the future. If our raffles go the way we want them to, and people buy all the tickets and we have the revenue, and there's a track that's closing down,
buy a track.
We can stand in. Or if we get enough revenue together, we can buy a track. We can set a facility up that is for us, that doesn't go anywhere, that's not built where people are going to live near it. And it's not going to be controlled. But I don't think we have to worry about it going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, either way though, anyone who watches this needs to jump over and support these guys.
It must be helpful.
Do whatever we can to keep all the venues open, the sporting going in Brisbane and everywhere really.
Support anyone that's putting themselves out there in drifting.
100%.
Absolutely.
I think support drifting as a whole, not just us. Like support Keep It Ready. Support us. Support Terror Squad. Like the number one.
Maybe.
Oh, they go. They go alright.
Do you want to know why I drift? 100%. Here's the thing. This is why I drift, right? So I've done a lot of fucking things in my life to try and feel like I fit in. Right? I grew up without a dad. I had a bit of a fucking like weird upbringing, right? And so I always yearned for like male approval for a fucking huge period of my life. And so I jumped into things like rugby, skating, martial arts, and anything that was fucking man.
Yeah.
And I'm short too, right? So I got little man syndrome as well, right? So anything I could fucking jump into that could get me into that pocket, I always forced myself into it.
So you played a lot of dummy half, did you?
No, fuck no, bro. Fullback, then I played winger, then I played outside, then I played inside. I did play 5'8" for a bit, I settled on flanker.
5'8"?
Flanker.
Fucking John.
I'm from Melbourne. I've got no idea.
No, fucking you need a real man's game.
Right.
None of this fucking
Stop and Trump.
So I tried a lot of shit, right, to try and fucking fill in, and everything I ever gave my 100% to, I only ever got 30, 50% back. I never ever got 100% back. And drifting was the first thing ever that I put 100% into.
And there was a group of people, and there was a group that really gave back to you.
Dude, not just a group, like every fucking person I've ever met drifting bar Michael O'Brien, and I'll mention his name because it's worth saying, right? Every other person I've met in drifting bar that dude has been the coolest, most amazing motherfucker I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely our special species, aren't we?
Yeah, to go with that, I come from a motocross background.
And we can blur his name out, like, because we know who we're talking about.
Brad hates named it.
That was blurted out, because that was more for us.
Oh, okay.
It was to clear some air.
Oh, so we have to edit now,
because it's good, right? This particular person, I've had love for what you're wearing and these lads and what they do and what they represent and what they bring to the scene. And like I was saying it to you before, you guys are some of the people that every time I see you at the track, I go and say hello, you say hello back, we have a fucking chat, there's that actual camaraderie, and we don't hang out, you know what I mean? Like, we're not fucking mates outside of drifting because we don't have that relationship. Doesn't mean I don't think you're not cool cunts and we couldn't be mates. Fucking of course we could. But we're just not, like, you know what I mean? But that's the thing about drifting. You don't have to be mates with the cunts to get along with them, have a sick time.
And that's what
you can see someone twice a year, and then by the time you leave the track, you think you're best mates because the way you communicate.
It's not just a common interest, bro. Like,
it's a way you.
But like, how many cunts are there? Like, oh, I've got an LCA. You need an LCA?
Yeah, and it's just like, I come from a motocross background.
Like, for fuck's sake, like, I've done events where, like, I've broke something and then it's a mate in a group. We've literally driven 2 hours to go pick a part up to go fix a car.
100%.
And then it's one of those things where you're just like, in a lot of whatever it is, whether it be motocross or whatever, like motocross or fucking, what's it called? Fucking, any sort of like, any circuit racing or whatever, like, mate, if you walked up to someone in circuit race and you went, I want a part, they would look at you and go,
I'm going to be 100%. And that's what I'm getting at with motocross. Because like motocross, it's just like, I'm having trouble with my bike. It's like, well, you know, F you.
You're out.
Got instantly beaten you.
I know that, like, even like Rocky now, so he's staying, he's fixing his car. And I'm like, dude, I think I've got a lower control arm at home. If you need it, I'll go get it. It's only half an hour away. And he got it done. It's all good, but like the drift community is a complete different story to any other sport.
Like I've seen like scenarios where there's a battle going on, 5-minute rule, and the other team comes in with them,
100%,
and fucking helps them.
And helps their car. 100%. Look at Dane. Did you guys see Dane? Did you guys see Dane at Grab a Grand? So Grab a Grand, fucking Dane's car wasn't working. It was having all sorts of issues. It ended up
car swap.
They car swapped in Ryan's car. Right. Then Dane fucking crashes Ryan's car by launching it over the fucking over the rising sun and breaking the suspension strut. And then, you know, and that's nothing on Dane. Dane's driving a fucking car he's never driven before in a high pressure situation. We've all been there. He's having a crack, right? But the camaraderie and sick part about it is literally everyone's like, let's fucking fix this car and get it back together. So Ryan could get back out and drive.
Well, prime example of that event was the JZX 100.
100%.
They were literally They literally got wheel studs from his house and Ubered them to the house, and they were literally doing wheel studs on the track as drift battles were going. To get
no other sport, man. Skating for me, right, was always outside of martial arts, because martial arts is an incredibly individual thing, right? When you're doing kung fu or Muay Thai or boxing or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or wrestling or MMA, all of the above, right? But when you get in a cage with a dude, it's so it is a team thing. You need a team to support you. But that moment is so fucking individual, right? even in your own team, there's not true camaraderie and that sort of shit. Like even in rugby, you still have people in your rugby team that you hate. You still have people that you fucking don't get along with.
Yeah, select
there's
fields.
100%, right?
Yeah.
Skating, everyone's cliquey as fuck, and if you don't have the fucking sick DCs and the mad style, and you're hanging out with dudes that wear fucking FUBU and shit, right? If you're not wearing, if you're not wearing FUBU with the guys that are wearing FUBU, or you're not wearing for you, bud, you're not in. Whereas drifting, you can rock up in fucking thongs, a G-string, and a fucking backwards cap, and as long as you can fucking put a wheel down and get on door, no one's gonna give a fuck.
But it's like,
now I know that, I'm wearing a G-string tomorrow.
But to go along with that, so you got Travo from TERRORSQUAD bringing the R31. You know, it's beat up, it's non-turbo, it probably doesn't look as good as our auto salon cars.
Have you seen my car?
He'll throw it down, he'll send it, and everyone frosts over something like that because it's almost like underdoggy and it's just fucking cool.
Very underdog car because it's very underpowered. Very underpowered.
Good stuff.
Small tire, all the bullshit.
Bro, look at
Jake.
Jake Thornbury, man, won DCA in a fucking AU.
In the Falcon, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Speaks for itself.
Speaks for itself, right? And were there people there that day that, like, I'm sure some people are like, yeah, I lost, I'm not happy about it. But was there a single person that didn't support that cunt, cheer that motherfucker on and be like, holy fucking shit? That's the difference between drifting. Like, you could be the shittest dude on the day, but as long as you're sending and giving your all, everyone is with you.
You know, 100%.
And this is why I love drifting. And it, like, you guys don't know my history, they don't need to know my history, but when I got sick, literally, if I hadn't have accidentally stumbled into drifting during that period, I don't think I would be here. Like, I honestly don't. I don't think I would have had the resilience. And not because meeting the people is awesome and this and that and you build these bonds, more because actual drifting itself, just doing the thing of drifting, going to the track, it's not just the rush, the fucking
vibe,
obstacles you overcome. Think about, you're like, how many times have you gotten to warm your car up on the trailer, you're about to pull it off the trailer, and something goes wrong, or as you're driving the track, something goes wrong. Do you know how many times I've brusted a shaft, or realised I blew a shaft the last time, and I'm like at the event, and I'm like, what the fuck, cunt? I'm on the trailer, the shaft snapped.
Right before you come, Tony's legit like, is this sport? It's not even like state thing, it's like everyone. Drift event Saturday, Thursday night, let's rebuild the car.
Yes, we got an event on Sunday, it's Friday night, let's put the engine back in.
Today with his car, and he's got, my manifold's got this crack, we're all like, fuck it, let's fix it now. Let's rip it off and fix it.
It is no different.
My car spent 5 hours on the dyno Wednesday night. You know what I mean?
It's Friday right now, just so you know. It's like 2 days ago. So Tony, you're from Victoria, and you're obviously agreeing a lot with what we're saying. So obviously the Victorian scene is the same thing,
It is so funny that I can come to this environment with people that I've met once or twice before, people that I've met never, like, you know, that I've met tonight. And everything you're talking about is exactly what we're doing 2,000 kilometers down the road. And nothing changes. Like, we are just in it for the passion for it. We're in it for the camaraderie. I can come and have a couple of drinks and have a good time with a whole bunch of like-minded people. It's the best.
Have you ever found another sport, right, where you can be competing with someone and be joyful for their success if they beat you?
You can't do that because everything's individual and everyone wants success in their own mind. Like, you even look at
even after tonight, I'm just like, I'm so stoked Carl's got his car going and running. I'm so stoked that Anthony, he wasn't even going to run. And he's in the comp, you know what I mean? I'm so stoked the Soz has come up, you know, like...
I'm so stoked that Staines didn't answer.
I'm going to use his tow car.
I'm more excited for these boys than myself, you know what I mean? So,
dude,
it means a lot that, you know, people going out of their way for the sport.
Let's be honest, so it's the first ever drift comp in central Queensland.
Yes, 100%.
This is so sick.
100%. That's it.
This is sick.
That's one of those things though too, like, if you go to like the States or like FD in Japan, like, someone will win, but if you look on the podium or whatever when they do the podium presentations, is like second and third will be actually more happy for who wins than who actually wins. And you just look at it like at that instinct, you're just like, holy shit! Like when it's not about that.
It's not about the winning.
Like at the end of the day, like everyone can sit here and admit saying, "Fuck, it feels good to be the best."
It feels sick.
On a day.
To be on point feels amazing.
But at the end of the day, if your mates whatever say, "Look, holy fuck, that was unreal how you drove," whatever. I reckon that's a better feeling than saying 3 judges or whatever is you are the best on the day.
Here's what, do you know why I compete? I compete because that's where the best driving is. I don't compete because I want to win. I don't compete. It's cool, 100%. If you fucking get a podium or you qualify, it is an amazing feeling. However, the reason I went into competing with drifting was because there's only so much tandeming you can do with it outside of competition. It's like going to be at that level of aggression and that level of precision.
The end of the day, everyone, like, no matter what anyone says, everyone is very select on who they tandem with. As bad as it is to say
it's
with
true.
what it is, everyone is very select.
We're all driving around $40,000 cars now.
$40,000 plus on a car, and you're just like, you are very select. Like, if you see someone, you're like, I don't really know what they're like.
40 grand for a head.
You gotta keep distance, but for me and Soza driving together, it was like
100%.
We're gonna be like this.
If you guys are driving, if I run up to Archie and you're there, I know I'm gonna sit on your fucking door, and I know that you're gonna do exactly what you need to do in front of me, and I don't have to worry. And I know if you're behind me, you're gonna do exactly what you need to do if I fuck up, and I don't have to worry, right?
Well, it's like what Stainsey's saying. I remember the Matsuri, and so I was like, I'll just jump on the back car, we'll do a few fucking trains. Did a couple, had to go and change the tyres, come out, here I am, I'll jump on the back of the TERRORSQUAD boys again. Pull up beside Stainsey. Hey man, don't jump on the back, and the look I got was like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, I've been driving the Solzer, and he's like, okay.
I'll be honest, I'm very touch and go with who chases me.
Yeah.
Because like,
you know what you can't destroy.
It's one of those things where you spend bulk money, you're like, whatever, like with my car for example, like if you look under the catalogue, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like the car is fucking well overbuilt for what I can drive.
Is this why you're not competing this weekend, mate?
It's
one of those things where like it's nervous because it's like you can get someone with, like, for example, not bagging anything out, but you can get someone behind you with an AU and like the mentality
and that's not to say that 15 AUs can't drive well.
No, I've seen a few AUs that can fucking steer.
What we're pointing out is an S13 hits a tyre or a fucking glass beer bottle and it crumbles to fuck. The AU hits a brick wall and goes straight through it and nothing happens.
It's one of those things like an S-Trace you can check, but then an AU goes,
bulldozer.
That's not a check. Like, it's a fucking D11 with fucking tracks on the car. Like, send them off. Like, you're like,
But some of the best drivers I've driven with at Archie is Falcons I've ever met. Like they have
100%.
Run wide lines every time, and there's no handbrake.
That's what I mean. They're sick. And it's not to say that you don't want to drive with them because they're shit drivers, they're shit cars. It's literally because one's a tank, one's a crumbled up piece of paper. Do you know what I mean? Like if that fucking AU hits that S13, S13 fucked. AU just drives off.
Well, look at the last
Cinderblock.
Like Gaffo got, was it second or third? In the Falcon.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, like.
Bro, all we need to do, we said it before, Jake Thornbury. Jake Thornbury won fucking DCA Pro in the fucking AU and made it look boss.
I seen an AU and Archerfield flip right in front of me.
Yep.
He hit
on the practice day.
Hit the back wall on the bank.
Yep.
Right. Anyway, they rolled him over. And I'm going out there another half an hour. All of a sudden, the AU rolls out again.
Yeah.
Oh, I get fucked.
Dude, have you seen Churchy's car, man?
Wait, that van.
Dude, the van!
We cannot talk about the van. Let's talk about the van.
Do you guys know
the
that
Mitzi van?
Have you not seen the van?
I've seen it on Fingers.
Bro, the first time it came to the track, it shit both its front wheels off.
So the van broke the wheel, like sheared a hub off within 10 minutes. Yeah, sweet as it was parked in the middle. Yeah, everyone's like,
What type of van?
A big a big fucking high-ass.
No, it was an instant with an XR.
You haven't been
I've never been to Archie, so
It was an instant with an XR.
Alright, Serena.
I think it's a Serena.
Serena van. Yeah.
You see some wild and wonderful things there, Archie.
You do.
Bro, you got right.
Bro, what he's saying is, right, this guy, he'd probably drive 10 minutes, wheel shears off. Then suddenly there's this thing gets locked off, and we're like, well, that's fucking gone.
Parked in the middle of the
parked
track.
in the middle of the
He
track.
parked in the middle of the track and he's like, swear enough, there's like this van parked in the middle of the track. Yeah, everyone was like, oh, whatever. He's blown the wheel off, whatever. Sweet eyes. Fucking 2 hours later, he rolls in with a wheel bearing, bolts a new wheel bearing on the car, and the car was fucking skidding it for the rest of the year.
And he lost the other wheel.
Proper tipping
Then
in.
he lost the
Proper
other wheel.
tipping in, and then yes, he lost the other wheel.
Van start. You might have to go back to starting one. That's the van. Like.
Stop it.
Insert van clip here.
Yeah.
Insert van.
Yeah, but then he goes to TERRORSQUAD.
Send that through. We'll put it up.
That's
Yeah.
all. Put it up there,
Hey, Joe, can you put it up there, mate?
Yeah.
Serena, this and Serena van, yeah.
I remember watching a video in Japan though, and it was a high axle 1J in it.
It was like full tipping.
I'm
I'm gonna save the editing. There we go.
Go all this editing, you fucking.
Oh, you can't even see it. Okay, I'll put it in. Sorry.
Yeah, Serena.
And that's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
Show me time Zach where some cunt's driving in a Serena and doing it well.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Show me V8 supercars where a dude rocks up in a Hilux with a 2J in it and then he's just chasing everyone down. Mitch. Oh, he doesn't have 2Js, fucking V8. He's straight motor.
It's a Supra.
And here's the other thing about Mitch's car. You know the first iteration? You know that had a bin motor in it? He's like, oh, I've got all these busted motors around, I'll make one
Slap
bin
one
motor.
together, yeah.
And then he had one of the most competitive. That bin motor ended up in Luke's 350. The black 350 that we had.
Yeah, right.
That was Mitch's. It's not a bin motor, but it was
The slap
multiple slapped together from broken motors.
It belongs in the bin. I'm sorry.
So obviously, like, my S13.
Belongs in the
On record, put it in the bin.
So my S13 just got a brand new motor. The motor before that, you'd almost borderline as a slap together. I used 3 motors to build one motor. Like,
Nice.
took pistons out of them, rods the whole lot, thanks to Bryso and Travo for
The
blowing two up.
boys.
It lasted nearly 6 years before I broken the ringlands on it at Rocky Nats and saw the 6. I got a mate who had a fully built 25, nothing but issues the whole time. He's just put together his R31. He calls it a Carl-spec engine. That's going strong.
The slap together's win.
And it's you've got your name on it.
You boys know Jade Deline.
Yeah.
So he's a engine machinist and stuff from trade. He did all my linished me crank and machined me head. He came over one night and he was like, "Oh, the bottom end's together." He goes, "Did you check the clearance on the bearings?"
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Never heard of it.
And it was like, "Does it turn over?"
Plastic
He
end?
said, "Yeah." And he's like, "It'll be right."
Yeah, look, I've definitely done some fucking freaky shit at 2 in the morning before a Matsuri, like, why are we doing this? Is this gonna work?
Everyone's done it.
And then it pays off.
You do not have a drift story if you do not have 2
have
a.m.
Have any of you got a really
I do not give a
fucked up-
fuck what you say.
We didn't have the right jack at the time,
so
so we just kind of improvised and made something really sketchy to jack the car up to pull the motor out story?
Yep.
Yeah, well, let's go through them because we'll see, and we'll vote on the who doesn't have a sketchy story like that.
I think I do. I've always had a shed work.
Oh, so you don't have one?
I think my
So you can tell us which of the sketchy is the sketchiest.
Well, the thing is, I think my sketchiest story.
And I'm not even going to tell you guys, I'm just going to show you a
It's only
video.
going to be, I rocked up to get a tune done on a Friday. Matsuri's on the Saturday.
No, we're not talking about Does this lead into using a dodgy jack?
Well,
Or a dodgy, sketchy meaning of jacking the car up?
I'm not really jacking the car, but this is my dodgiest story.
Okay, well there we go.
Okay,
That's
so this is the thing, so you can judge whether I'm part of this competition or not. I got a tune on the Friday, and Darren was like, "Dude, you got no boost control." He's like, "The turbo legit will not control the fucking boost." I just put new manifold, new turbo, or second-hand turbo. And anyway, so it was just, no matter what we did, it couldn't regulate. So I like pulled the exhaust off on the Friday, took it to some exhaust shop. They ground things down and did things and put it back on, and it was still shit house.
They fucked it like it is.
And dude, like $700, I think it was like $700 bill later for like on the dyno 3 times. Anyway, I just took the Matsuri anyway, and I could not drive the car. It was the biggest bag of shit ever. G was like, he just went for a walk at about 11 o'clock in the morning, and he came back, and the car was roasting hot, and he's like, here you go. He went and bought a Series 2 stock turbo off Tricks. Yeah. And we're just sitting there changing it out on the track. We got fucking oil and coolant pissing everywhere, burnt me fucking hands. It took us an hour and a half to change the turbo.
Yeah. Whack that video in.
Yeah. He's a making set at hard.
Fuck it up. Well, he's got to be so level.
I didn't have any laptop, so I couldn't put the old tube back in it or nothing. Just bolt the turbo on and set the fucking car.
Same engine.
Same engine, just blew up. That was probably 4 years ago.
Yeah, sick.
That's my sketchiest story, so these guys are better ones.
Well, if we're going to go that route, we just ignore the Jack stories. And we
sketchiest story.
You're going to tell me that story today, that's pretty sketch.
Yeah, tell us the Jack story.
You're the one jacking up with
I'll show you the video.
With the weights.
I was going to say Jack stories. The Jack stories are the sketchiest one.
Yeah, they are. Alright, what's your Jack story?
Yeah, come on.
Fuck, that would probably be like at my place. We had a stage here.
I've got a Jack story actually.
Story, right? We had this stage and there's one of my good mates, right? We had a stage and it's like, oh yeah, I just need to do a gearbox in it. I was like, oh yes, we know, let's bring it over, I'll do a gearbox. Yeah, but at this point in time, I was very fresh into.
Off the open S.
It's the first time I've seen a gearbox like that, that sort of size. I was like, oh yeah, like SR boxes, you know what I like? Yeah. You put them on your chest, you roll out over, you do
the cockroach.
We jacked his fucking car up, like we had a blue point jack. We jacked it up, so we're going to have to stand.
Sorry guys.
Yeah, these little timber blocks. So these little timber blocks, they were probably like 100 timber blocks to get them up on the fucking thing.
Whatever, yeah.
And then I was pulling this box out. And I was like, 26 boxes. 26 boxes on my list. And I'm like, this is fucked. And then I was sitting on the car and it was just like, I was like, sweet, I was rocked the box out. It was just like, sweet, sitting there with the box. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? I was like, what the fuck do I do? The best part is I looked up and I was looking at on my side, the passenger side, 2 bolts that hold the crossmember in. They were moving. I was like, I had a fucking 26 box on top of your chest. I'm like, there's these 2 bolts moving. I'm like, I'm not moving. Oh no. At this point, I was like, holy fuck. Holy fuck. Holy fuck, pretty much. And I was just like, literally, I just said to one of my good mates, and I just went, help. I was just like, help. I was just like, help. I was like, I need fucking help at this point in time. And I was just like, he's like, what do you need? I'm like, you need to grab the back of the box. He's like, oh, well, what's going on? And I'm like, cunt, you fucking, like, this is actually you own the car. And I was just like, you need to grab the back of the box. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, cunt, you need to grab the back of the box. And he grabbed the back of the box. I was like, sweet. I was like, and I just fucking, like, shimmy down to the back of the car. He's like, what the fuck's going on? I was like, cunt, your car was literally, like, 2 ton over my head. I'm like holding your gearbox and I just see 2 gearbox bolts with no bolts in it, just going like this. on four axles ends. I'm like, nah, I'm fucking out of here. I'm out at this point in time. So that's probably the worst fucking fucking thing that I've ever done.
Soldier's turn.
What do you mean?
Sketchiest Jack story.
What's his sketchiest Jack story?
I worked as a mechanic in my trailer, I can't tell you.
He used a 3.5 ton hoister before.
It's definitely worth making a disclaimer on Soz's point, is that the sketchy shit I did was before I worked as a mechanic.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, and now I do things way differently. I would never do the things I did.
What mechanic doesn't do something sketchy to get the job done?
Oh, sketchiest thing I did was put an RV in my car.
It's out now.
Yeah, so what I was saying before, now that I am a mechanic, I do way sketchier than when I was. Like changing and fucking pulling a whole LS out of my C33 to do the snapped K-frame on my 45-degree angle that's on Norval Road.
Good.
Yeah, boys, on Norval Road. So this is not my sketchy Jack story, I won't tell it then, but let's just say a strap went dun-dun-dun-dun while I'm under there moving things, and I went, that didn't sound right, and then got out from underneath it as the whole LS dropped off the crane.
What do you got, Tony?
I'm actually really fucking cautious when I wear it.
Do you know why? Because you've already lost your hair, you don't want to lose it again.
Anymore, right?
I think his garage, he's got a hoist in his garage.
I've got a fucking hoist, an engine crane, axle stands. I don't want to die.
Safety first.
Yeah, safety first.
Yeah, so you're pretty good.
He's pretty good.
His old man gets the advisor for him.
Yeah,
so Jan has to tell the old man.
So what is your sketchy story?
There's no one.
You don't have one? It was one day I pulled my dick out.
There's been some times where, like, engine like, so I always. Well, that's what I call the engine, right? That's what I call it. But like, it's always engine and gearbox in together, and there's been some times where.
So with a bit of rain.
Just like you're gonna penetrate deep, right?
Much lube.
There was actually this one time, like, engine and gearbox going in, you got to rotate it on the cross member to get it to fall into the engine mounts. Yeah. And we're like rocking the car around, and it fucking nearly fell off the end, like the axle stands. I'm like, holy shit! Like we nearly dropped the car off the crane and at the engine stands, and I'm like, my dad's half under the car. Like my dad helps me with all my shit, and I fucking appreciate him so much for it.
Yeah.
Yo man's on
his dad.
So like engine. So I'm on the engine crane, and we've got engine and gearbox, and my old man's.
You're telling me you put your old man under the car.
Fucking chance.
He's like, mate, you've lived a long enough.
Is that selfish or smart?
I'm here to tell you
It's smart fish.
So like on the engine crane, so he's on the jack with the gearbox, and I'm on the engine crane like shimmying things in.
You're under the car though.
No, he's like on the side with the engine. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right. Everyone step away from the car for a few minutes. Let's revisit this. But yeah, like I try to be as safe as I can. I really do.
You got a sketchy Jack story, Tony?
I got a sketchy Jack story, but it's not
Go.
as a $2,000 radiator.
That wasn't a Jack story though. That was just we didn't put the radiator inside enough and it hit the anyway.
That was a pretty expensive fuck up by the sound of it.
Harold died. Still good. 2 years later.
That's another cool thing about drifting. Ain't no one in time attack and they're like, it was 3 years later. Still going to be like, nah. They're like, why don't you use Daryl Light?
I've got some liquid metal and my radiator is still fucking neat.
So continue your sketchy Jack story.
I was doing roll center correction in my car in the garage, and I jacked it up, put the stand under, being lazy, didn't really look where I put it, and I was like, yeah.
Oh.
No. I was like smacking the fucking shit to get it apart, and the stand slipped and then landed and then pushed a big dent where my accelerator pedal goes.
Yeah.
There's still got the chassis rail.
Yeah. That pedal beat it back out.
Yeah, nice. And you were alright.
Like nothing a
My legs were sitting under the car like this.
Yeah.
You survived.
And I was smacking it, and it fell right where I was.
I
Just quietly, hang on, wait.
I still got my
I've just
legs.
noticed something. Do you have quite possibly the coolest fucking tattoo of all time?
One of them.
It'd be better if it was coloured.
Fucking mother. Oi,
If I get
I'd have a single on my back.
That's always in the contract.
I got one back in.
Fine, you're on the shots tonight.
still
Yes.
goes.
She didn't take.
So the point is, you didn't die.
No.
I remember my Sketchy Jack
And I got the
story.
legs.
You remembered it?
No,
But you already had a story.
No, but it wasn't Sketchy
Technically,
Jack. It wasn't Sketchy Jack
Doesn't
though.
matter. You already had a story.
Can I say it though?
Okay.
Oh, come back. Come back.
Oh, you get fucking 2
Oh,
stories.
2 stories. I'm the host,
Fucking-
motherfucker. Sit down.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Wait, we need to make him a sticker.
Yeah, 2 stories.
It's sticky. Nickname.
2 stories.
I fitted.
And he's a fucking giant.
You only get 1 chance in the comp, bro.
Wait, it works
That's
out.
tomorrow.
Wait, it's a double entendre, motherfucker.
Yeah.
2 stories.
Real
and he's
quick.
2 stories high.
Real quick, I was fitting.
Real quick.
That's what she said. But I was fitting like new Toro down from Tech, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put these new 17-inch rims on that I bought off a mate.
That's a good story too.
I was under the car with the jack there. I didn't realise when I jacked the car up on the jacking point, it was on the edge of the round thingy. When I pushed the 17 on, it pushed it off the jack and landed like half on the studs with my legs under the car.
Oh.
In the car, or whatever, like, no one would have fucking heard me.
Oh, nah.
It landed like, I pushed it off the jack and it landed, and like the top stud was probably like 75% in.
Yeah.
And then like the wheel tilted from there. And I was like, I remember just pulling my legs out and I went for a shower.
It's not dodgy 17-inch.
Do you know what goes through my head literally every single time I'm setting my car up on jack stands and sliding under it?
You're like,
It's like, don't die.
Yeah. You just like, with the stand, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Whenever you're lowering the fucking car, you're like,
Lower the bit.
yeah, it's good. Lower it a bit. Is it good? Your story. Your story.
It's not so much a Jack story.
As a Jack story is over.
So I'm restoring A86 at the moment. Oh, the Drag Boys, eh? The boys? The Drag Boys.
Let's go. Is that a Krista coming back?
Anyway. My A86 restoring at the moment. Rolling shower. Rolling into the panel shop.
What kind of shop?
Panel.
Shout out, Palmer.
Thanks, Dad.
Best paint jobs in Jabiru Drive.
Or their salon represent.
And get the apprentice, let's go. 4 jack stands. He's like, alright, I'll grab the jack too. I'm like, nah, no need the jack. He's like, what do you mean no need the jack? You just grab the jack stands. Anyway, I go fucking wheel well quarter panel. Stop it.
Oh no.
Oh, here he is.
Big unit. Big on
unit.
He's like, now what? I'm like, put the fucking down. He's like, alright. Fucking slides one under. Anyway, other side, fucking boom. You got the drill by then. Slip that one up, come to the front, lift it up, and he's like, you know what? I'm not working with you anymore today. You're too dangerous. Sketchy.
Alright, well, rather than tell you my story, I'm just going to show you.
Yeah,
And then you can be
video.
like, that's either sketchy.
We're
or
gonna
not.
need to implement this.
Actually, I'll give you context. I'll give you context. So, I got the 1VR from Tiana. Right, I swapped in my A6 for it. It used to be fucking Shane Van Gisbergen's 1VR, and so it had a pretty sick motor in it. So when I got my Laurel came with a knocking RB20, which I got off Mitch. You remember Mitch from fucking up in
Yeah, it's got the Sushi DC.
It is, it's Lee Bain's old car, yes. So it's Lee Bain's old car, right? And it's got this beautiful HKS manifold on it, but essentially pretty much stock motor in the Laurel. And it had a little 3.5 grand Inoki boy. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll pull it out there, Mary. And I've got this lovely Van Gisbergen motor in my 1VR. However, we're at my mate's house in the back of fucking Jindalee, and his driveway goes like this.
Yeah.
Into an under carport that goes like this. But it's not high enough. Like if you're driving a car in, you've got to like, we had to take the door and I'm like putting the door up to get the car in sort of thing. And then you've got fuck all room to work in under there. And we're like, yeah, we'll do a fucking engine swap down here. No, fuck that, we'll do 2 at once. So we set the 1VR up. Yeah, and then
We're gonna do one. No, fuck this.
Yeah.
Do fucking 2.
two at the same time, and it was like we were getting ready for a comp. And so, same thing, you know, fuck it, 2 nights before, let's do the 24-hour work on the car, no sleep.
This is a great idea.
This is a great idea. So we're like firing through, and we're like trying to jack the fucking one gear up. And I'll show you the video in a minute, but like, I basically had a little shitty Repco jack.
Yeah.
And a pistol jack. And I'm like, yeah, we can do it in 12. Fuck yeah, we can. And then I had an engine crane and shit. Right, anyway, so imagine we get to the point of where the car is, and we come to a dilemma. The little Repco jack is not quite big enough to do the job that we need. It can't even reach anything. And then the pistol jack can't, and then we went.
Doesn't have enough length.
Because we had to get the fucking one gear up to pull the 20 out of the one gear.
Put it down. Take the other car.
No, then leave it up.
Oh.
Then leave it up.
Yeah.
And then go over to the Laurel and put the Laurel up. And then pull that motor out. And then put it alright. So, multiple jacks. This is 2-story car, 2-story jack.
Everything looks big on a small back roll.
That's what I tell myself. So, all we had is a shitty Repco jack and a pistol
Fucking
jack.
bad dog it.
Right, and then we're like, alright, what else can we find in here? It's worth mentioning that my mate's Super Kiwi that I'm working with.
Choice.
Yeah,
Like, shout out Renos. Right, so.
On your uncle.
Yeah, what's your uncle?
Sure,
Oh, you come back to how today, bro? Oh, see you later. Oh, no, Ruckus, what are you doing later? Oh, just going to my nanny's for a munchie.
Any Kiwis watching, we fucking actually like you, right?
We do, I love it. And that actually happened. We're
When you go off to your nanas for a bunch in Australia, it means that. Something absolutely fucking different, bro.
Fuck it.
Holy shit.
Alright, here is the sketchiest thing I've ever done with this jack.
I don't want to see
This is the sketchiest thing I've ever done with this jack.
This is just around 15 plus.
Please adjust your TV set.
Wait, we're taking our clothes off or what?
It's early. It's a bit early.
Yeah.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah, no. We're not official just go viral.
It's not midnight yet.
Excuse me, yeah. You're right.
Let me excuse you. It's not midnight yet.
Far out.
Alright, it's coming. My Instagram live.
Here we go.
Wait, that's what she said. 2 stories. 2 jacks. 2 stories, 2 jacks.
One man.
2 chains.
Yeah,
2 chains.
Here it is. Here it is. Oh, what?
Here we go.
Are they like weights?
Yeah.
They're like bench press weights, like you have at home, mate.
Put on.
Maybe show us something. This video in too.
I mean, we're gonna see it, but
Holy.
Wait, you gotta say from the beginning. That's not even the best bit.
It's your fucking head on it, that's the worst.
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
Oh, never gets the job done.
Yeah, it's the sketchiest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. So you're lifting a car weight plus 100 kilos of weight.
Yes,
You're right.
twice with 2 different jacks. And I haven't even explained the worst part.
Fucking 2 jacks.
Under his house didn't just go like this.
Yeah.
Like that. It wasn't level.
Oh,
It was twisted. So we're there under it, right? Imagine it sitting on that because we couldn't get jack stands to fit. We're like, oh, no, we'll put it up and we'll put it on tyres. And then when we realised it was on the tyres, we couldn't get the fucking engine crane in. So we had to then just sit it on this shit. And be like, right, we've got one fucking thing here, one under one tow hook. And you know how you're going, yeah, I'm turning the motor. We're trying to pull this fucking RB20 out with the gearbox on and shit. Right? And it's like, and the whole one here is going, and Grant's lying down on the ground underneath it, like, you did with your dad. I did it with my dad, homie.
Hey, hang on. Was he in relation to you?
No!
No, sketch history.
we got to shout out Grant, hands down.
On your Grant.
Jamie,
Mate, fucking legend, bro.
Yeah.
Because on the boys, he could have died. And not only that, the same dude, right, finished the rest of the job for me with the 1v when I was overseas in Japan in a way sketchier scenario on his own. Yeah. Lunatic.
Well, Tony's the winner.
it's so funny that like it doesn't matter what town we're in, what state, all over Australia, probably all over the world. Like there's a whole bunch of people in grassroots drifting that are all just doing sketchy shit just so we can get to the track
same dumb
the next weekend because
The next day. The morning.
at the track. All right, at the track. So I've got a story.
He obviously got a story.
No, I've got a story. So you said at the track, right? So I was crewing for John Dreyer at Drift Masters in Adelaide, in the Bend.
Yep.
And I can't remember the name. Evil 33, I think his name's Kieran.
Pardon me.
I think his name's Kieran.
Mandapel event or something like
They
What's his surname?
right. Anyway,
Fucking ring in.
so we were there.
Brad Palmer and his 5 daughters.
So we had Dreya's car up on the stands.
I remember that one in year 3.
And my daughters.
I told you I was short.
That was from my teacher.
Oh my god! If you're watching at home, don't just like
Palmer.
wait, didn't we all
Up to auntie.
Oh my god.
If you wasn't offended, do you feel ripped off?
Yeah, sorry.
If you wasn't offended, do you feel ripped off?
Yeah, because it's not quite a full palm. They don't have the same grip.
Wait, does that mean you and Johnny Depp could be homies?
Yeah, a bit of a pirate, bro.
Bring it back to the topic at hand.
Let's listen to that story.
That's what I do. R33.
It's a black one.
She's a silent shit. My R33.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
If you win tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
You need to jump on the roof of your car and then walk off the front like Skyhouse when it's sinking.
Dude, if I win,
If you make top 3, you
you know what? If Dan Canali wins, I'm gonna do it off his car. Dan Canali, if you win, I'm doing Pirates of the Caribbean off the front of your fucking half R chassis Sylvia fucking shit. What is it? Identifies as what?
What was the story?
So off topic.
Oh, sorry.
Come back to me.
Let's throw a bit of banter at the top.
Let's go back to drifting.
Wait, it's all about advance. Don't get offended, bro.
Nah, it's all
We've all got big balls out
It's all
here.
banter, bro.
Not you, tiny. They're so small, bro. They're like frozen peas.
Alright.
These two little balls.
A drifting story about resilience, and that's what we're about. Like the absolute resilience of drifters. So I was at Drift Masters in Adelaide with John Dreyer. He blew a gearbox in the first session out. We brought a spare gearbox. We're swapping a gearbox out. I go running around the pits trying to look for gasket maker and just shit to try and make this thing work.
Anything.
I walk around the other side of the pits, and the dudes from Sydney, I think they're from Sydney, Evil R33, correct me, Kieran, I think Kieran, they blew an engine. And they're like, oh man, we blew an engine. It was on the Saturday. There was still the Sunday to go.
Yeah.
They bought an engine in Adelaide, an hour and 20 minutes away from Taylor Bend. So they drove into Adelaide, they bought an RB25, sight unseen, brought it back to the track, changed the engine at the track and drove all day Sunday while we were changing Dreya's gearbox and he competed on the Sunday. I'm like, I've never been to a motorsport event where people are that dedicated to get back on track.
Yeah.
And this is just my story from Adelaide, from Melbourne people. You guys are doing the same thing. It is just unreal that people have got that level of dedication, and it's awesome.
One of those things though, like you can look at like for example, like a Bathurst 12 hour.
Yep.
If you look at a Bathurst 12 hour, as soon as like any car loses a motor,
Out.
Gone home.
Like they're like, oh sweet as, like we don't want to resolve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give up on the spot.
But like it's not that.
No, they don't. But yeah.
They're like, oh well, we've got to do a full motor swap. Like they literally will have a motor in the trailer and they put it in within 3 hours.
But on your motor story, I actually saw a bloke swap 2 RB20s on a Saturday in that series.
Mark's going to swap 4 SR20 gearboxes.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
remember that series.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like with the level of drifting into like any other motorsport, like
and that was between turn 4 and 6.
Like we're talking like at the end of the day, like a drift event, like a car. We'll just talk money wise, for example. Like we're talking a car like 40 grand worth, and then we're talking to like a GT3 car at fucking 400.
Yeah,
like we're talking literally $100,000 motor where they've got a second, like literally one sitting there, and they're just like, oh
and
no, call it a day. And they've got fucking 10 engineers or 10 mechanics sitting there going, we'll drop a motor within an hour.
And this is where I was getting back to earlier when I was saying like the coolest part about drifting that got me through when I was sick, right, is the adversity to overcome. Like when I got sick and they were like, man, you could die. And I was like, that fucking sucks. It fucked my shit up, and I really fucking fell off the wagon for a bit, and I lost, like, I've always been able to do things in my life by setting my mind to it, I can eventually get it done, but I've always struggled with doing shit that I don't want to do when I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know? Because of drifting, and you're not having a fucking choice to do shit, in my first season,
suck it up, cunt.
in one season of DCA, I did 11 RB20 gearboxes.
Oh, wow.
At the fucking track. One of them I did in the DC rain.
Well, you fucking deserve that for fucking putting RB20
I had them, alright? I bought cars that came with spare RB20 boxes. I was a broke drifter. I wasn't buying another gearbox.
Battle, bro.
I had them.
5-minute rule. 5-minute rule.
Stop putting 20 boxes
No, this is where I'm getting at. Yeah,
Thank you.
They're great boxes, but
I see that because
comps.
It wasn't that because the dedication to do that to
It's the
drive.
dedication to do it to drive, and it was like it was because it was like I either go home, and when I get home, all I do is think about what are my lungs doing? Can I fucking breathe? You know, are my lungs gonna start bleeding again? Like, am I gonna have to tell my kid about this? Like, where's this gonna go? Or fucking get this gearbox done, get this gearbox done, get this gearbox done, and then whoop-ah! Yeah, fuck off, I'm all good, go home, yay!
Yeah, 11 bros.
You know, you fucking learn to
Prime
just
example
push
was
the fuck through.
2015 Matsuri where the silver hit and run car blew a 2J.
Yep.
And everyone was in that garage. They were all pulling the motor out. There was a fucking 2J, like a built 2J on the ground at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, right.
So good.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
they were like, what is wrong? To this day, like I wasn't really in it at that time, but they figured out what was wrong. They put it back in, and he drove all the fucking Sunday.
Yeah. My first ever Matsuri I ever did, right? I'd never done a Matsuri before. I had my S13, and it was like halfway through the Saturday, I did a wheel bearing, a rear wheel bearing, and this dude that I didn't even know, man, is like, "Oi, bro, I've just fucked my car completely. My wheel bearings are sick. Do you want it? All you gotta do is pull it out." And I was like, I don't know if he's like, "I've got all the tools. You just gotta do it." I'm like, "Fucking yeah, man." Pulled it out, boom, off I go. Right? First ever Matsuri. That had never happened in grip shit to me before. If my car broke, people were like,
Suck it up, deal.
sorry you're a poor cunt, are you pulling tyres out of the spares bin again?
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's what they're like. And in drifting, if you see a dude coming in with used tyres, you don't say shit about the fact that he's got used tyres, you're more like, oh, you can't help? Like, what do you need? Because you know how determined that dude is to be.
So let's
hit him up for spare tyres, bro.
Hey,
I got a bit of a question. Let's talk a bit of drift comp tomorrow.
Yep.
I don't know whether we start with expectations from the judging, or expectations from the driver,
or the MC.
or the MC. What do you
The
expect to see?
MC needs to be baller as fuck and hilarious. And I think he will be.
Mate, I don't have any jokes. I'm just gonna be fucking cool. It's okay.
No RB25 jokes.
No.
No SR jokes.
I'm gonna be all about the SRs because I've got 2 of them myself.
No LS jokes.
No LS jokes. It's okay.
So is it like, TERRORSQUAD in the God's motor?
God's motors.
God's motor.
Don't look at my t-shirt. No.
Come on! Wait, you know why RB25
like SRs.
Really?
They
I don't think anyone
don't
likes-
like the fact that such a small motor has more torque and more reliability.
Hey!
Okay, I'm pretty sure Tony was talking.
I'm pretty sure Tony was talking.
Oh wait, what have you got? You've got like that RB25 thing.
yeah.
And hang on, what do you have to do to it to make it good?
Yeah, cool.
I run a 6-cylinder CA, so I'm good.
Yeah, 600 CA. In all seriousness, just like from the track that we've seen, from the people and everyone else, like we're gonna have a sick day no matter what. It's gonna be so cool. We've got a mixture of cars, we've got a mixture of people and talent and everything else. It's just gonna be such a good day. I'm so keen. I'm keen to see the judging criteria of the track because that'll really make a difference. There's a real big bump in the middle of the track, so that's going to unsettle
And it's
people.
on transition, man.
Like it's going to be it's going to be a flick over the bump and
and to the inexperience,
big jump over that bump.
You know what I reckon is going to be the most...
There's a big jump over that
You know what I think is going to be the biggest thing that's going to unsettle people? Is that how you come over the bump and you transition your car and then you've got to literally narrow your car up so big for that double S.
Yep.
Like, if you do not know how to steer, if you cannot tag a wall and then tag the inside, that is going to unsettle a lot of people.
100%, and especially because we were going to be running with an inner clip. And I was like, that is going to fuck up transitions and it's going to be slow and ugly. Let's push it to a lovely wide clip.
Yes,
100%.
The last section.
So that way we're washing that little bit of speed off, we're setting the car up, and then we're unloading it over that crest.
Yeah, I don't like the...
We had the inner clip, and the inner clip was going to lead to, whack!
So after the first corner, you're looking for pretty much style points
100%
to get onto that outer clip,
and then
into back,
big switch up that hill over that crest, and then just whack, snap into the wall and fucking
The only thing I've got to say with that, you come over, so you got the initiation, and you come over that S. And then you come over that crest, sweetheart, and then you've got a sweeper. So you got that left-hand sweeper.
You gotta punch it over a bit,
Fuck me dead, that's an arrow sweeper for 2 cars.
It is.
That is going to be quite impressive. That is going to be quite impressive to put 2 cars
side by side,
but at a decent angle. That's the thing. Because you got to put because at the end of the day, you have to put a car at a decent angle to nail that double S.
100%. It's going to be
It's going to be quite interesting.
It's going to be sick.
And that's going to set the rest of the track
in
as
the
well,
same time, right? We as the judges, we haven't driven it yet. So like tomorrow morning, we're going to have a send. And we're going to make sure that we can do what we want you guys to do.
We were talking about that today. We were talking about that. It's going to be interesting to see because obviously an expression session and a practice tomorrow morning to see what comes of that. Because
it's going to be guided, man. When we do the track walk, I'm going to be very clear about what we're expecting.
We walked it, and the first thing we seen was just that was probably
it's skinny.
We're talking like a meter in, and it would be a lot better. But just to see on that, we're just we'll wait until we'll wait until see what happens.
And that's why as soon as I saw the layout today and what the guys were putting out, I only made a few minor changes because I didn't want to go fucking with that whole plan. You want to see what their layout's going to be like. We might look at it and go, yeah, that's real tight. It may end up, especially the way I see, the way I've changed the zones. When you punch over that hill and you hit wide and then boost, you're gonna go, it's going to create that space.
You know the one thing I see on that track, I'm no fucking expert or whatever, but lack of inside clips.
There's a reason for it.
There's a reason for it.
Right.
I know there's a reason for it.
Chasing. Showtime.
We're running good chase. We've got a mix between novice drivers. And we've got a mix between L2. When we had the inner clip, it was going to make it so that you were going so fast through there that you were very much, if you fucked up, shut everyone off. But not only that, both cars have got a way higher potential of going into that barrier. And
We noticed that on the practice day, on that inner clip, there was no car side by side, as everyone was chasing that.
And then it was fucking up the next switch, wasn't it? And opening a gap.
Yeah, it was. But when we did put the outer zone, turn that into an outer, everyone was, how would you say? Probably not coming deep enough.
Yep, they're not coming deep enough first corner.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is where, when it comes to track walk tomorrow, we're going to drive it first.
Yeah.
If I get out there, man, and
so
in 3 laps I can't fucking do that run that I want you guys to do, we're going to make change.
That first zone really has to be deeper
that is awesome,
to make people actually go deeper.
Like, like, no matter who it is, like, put anyone on the track, and then if someone cannot put a respectable run within, say, 5 laps on a layout you're expecting,
you change it.
You cannot expect someone to, like, no matter
be on door.
No matter how good they are, whatever, like, they could be a fucking D1 GP driver. If within 4 or 5 laps, you cannot expect someone to be on the door of another person's car or do a good lead run. Because at the end of the day, if you cannot supply a good lead run in tandeming,
it's very difficult to check.
Fucking put them in the bin.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
100%.
Put them in the bin if they cannot supply a good
It's
lead
just
run.
as imperative to have a solid lead, to have a solid chase.
100%.
You have to be that confident in your ability to drive that you leave that fucking door open. You put it as wide and as hard as you can and go get in there, right?
100%.
Fucking get in there.
See, it's kind of a little bit, not funny, but like we had the podcast 2 podcasts ago. We had Ben Bars and Aiden on. And I spoke about on that first section of the first corner of the left bend. And they weren't like inners and inners, and I was like, we're going deeper and have outers. It's pushing a better spot for that big sweeper section. And but at the end of the day too, like as judges, we said like, end of the day, you guys should set up what you believe is going to be a good show. And as drivers, the better driver will actually adapt.
Do the job.
However, the reason why I'm impaired, I want us to drive it when we're asking you to do it. It's because my personal experience as a drifter, right? There's been quite a few times where I've been in comps or been in situations, particularly when I was in Japan, where they ask you to do shit that they can't do themselves and it hasn't been proven and the layout sucks and it actually fucks the whole event up. And it's like heaps of crashes and shitty driving.
This and this, and you're like, yeah, that sucks, it's not flowy.
Yeah, 100%. Or we can do that, but it's horrible. It feels wrong.
Well, that's like QR. That's like prime example. QR when you have to like whatever is just like when you have to handbrake dragging the 3.
Oh, 100%.
Like QR handbrake dragging the 3 does not feel normal for anyone.
Unless you wash it off. Like it has to be.
And then at the end of the day, they're asking you to like when they want you to do a comp, we're talking like a 250 meter entry, which isn't major for turn 3 QR. But when you're talking a turn 3 entry at QR, and then they want you to handbrake drag, you're like,
it's horrible.
Nope. Like everyone else is just like you unsettle the car and then flick.
Either that, or you fucking take the fastest straightest line you can and do a quick snap.
All they ever have to
momentum.
And as a driver and as a judge, right? When I'm judging, I'm looking for what I like to watch. As a like spectator when I'm watching the sport, but I'm also looking for how I like to drive. Do you know what I mean? I love super aggressive, super hard, snap on transition, hit your door, fucking try and get as close as possible, minimal handbrake, no left foot, just fucking be in the pocket, use the natural fucking inertia of the car to then switch and chase and be super dynamic. What I don't like is when you see dudes that do the half delayed switch. And it does put you in the pocket, but it doesn't look as nice on transition because they're switching that little bit earlier, they wait that second and then dive into the pocket, and it's sort of slow, it's not...
So, you obviously seen the track.
And it doesn't mean it doesn't work.
You see the track
today?
One of those suggestions that I spoke about, and like about grip days ago, you see after the first corner, it's been the big left, and it's like left, and you transition right over the lump for the last corner. Like actually bringing the clipper points deeper in that sort of that big left and earlier back before the hump. That way you would transition before the lump. And that way when you hit the lump, you're over purity from the whole noise.
So that's why I moved that in so that we can come turn 1, initiate, run the wall, come around the corner, nice and wide, and then when you transition, because you're in a deep pocket, you're snapping and on the power before you go over crest.
As soon as we go wider,
as soon as you come over that crest, and
I'll walk you through, and obviously we can't paint on the track, but I will very clearly be like, this is where we envision
position you've been in, and this is where we want you on power. This is where we want you to push through. Because like we're not dealing with the pro level guys alone. When you've got pro guys, you basically go, here's the front layout, here's your points. We've got L2 style in the pros.
Yeah, either look at like Anthony here, he did like come on 2 years, and like versus we've got 10-year experience here, 3 years here. Oh, you're pro. Yeah, I've been like probably 8 years, but only probably like the last 5 to 6 is probably a bit more fun at that through with these guys. But like, then you got like people like Dan Valley, that 80-86 rocking up, and
you got
like
Senna, you got Geddes, you got Dane, you know, you got Clee, you've got some serious
It's one of those things like where a lot of the drivers that are like dropping in this weekend, like you can go to a Matsuri or whatever and put them in a train, comfortable.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, because at the end of the day, like we're all drifters. We love a train. That's real. Every drifter loves a fucking train. What is in a train? Best thing ever.
The coolest part about the train,
I've ridden off 2 cars on the train, and I still, hands down to this day, I'll still get lunch.
Yeah, 100%. And the coolest part about the train, actually, and this is something I want to bring into real life drifting. So I love sim drifting, right? One of the reasons why I love sim drifting is because you can be in your mate's ear while you're on his door. And there's another guy on your door, and he's giving you shit too. And then there's a guy on his door, and they're giving you shit as well. And you got 8 cars fucking simming, and you're all like, you can't fucking get it, go away, and there's that thing. Imagine having earpieces, fucking tandem in train on the track, and you're like, you can't look at you, oh, go a bit, fucking good, like, it's so different, man. It's sick. You can, but we don't do it very often. But when you're in sim, you're always like connected. That was a whole like getting left of field thing.
But Carl talked me through literally the track when we were there last time as well.
Oh, yeah, started here.
Carl said drive here, deeper here.
Yeah,
here,
and that's what we'll do tomorrow as well during practice. Like a lot of,
100%.
I think where a lot of comps go wrong, and the reason why I like how Luke does it with DCA, particularly with the L2 guys, is he gets involved. And he says, we want you here because, not we want you here. We want you here because. And then he goes, you get here this way. You do X here and it will put you there and then you will have the good line. And that's the sickest part about, for me, coming up through DCA and L2 is like, I've done so many other different styles of comp. 100%, and you're not prepared, and the way Luke sets it up, it's like you know what's coming, you know where you're supposed to be, and you have a reference point to match yourself to. You know, immediately, instead of going out there, throwing down 5 or 6 laps, having to come back to your spotter wasn't watching. Happens all the time. And you're like, how good was it? Oh, what spotter? Exactly, what spotter? That happens heaps. My whole fucking drifting thing.
Well, before we wrap it up, do we have any favourites for tomorrow?
Thank you.
I'm not even driving.
Best judge.
Probably you, bro, for me. To be honest.
Oh, look out.
It'd be you or Senna, really?
Senna. I thought he was cross-eyed for a second because he wasn't looking at me.
You have hometown advantage. So you're going to be lit anyway.
See, the hometown advantage thing, I kind of find a little bit
big hype on Senna.
Not so.
Oh, massive hype on Senna. Senna is a fucking big ball boss motherfucking driver.
But not even that, just the way he just the way he drives.
He's good. He's good. He's consistent.
I can't put it any other way.
He's good, and the only time he
knows how to put a car in a location. He knows how to put a car in a location.
He does, 100%. And he knows how to get in your door. He knows how to anticipate.
And he is like he will do a qualifying run as a lead run all day.
All day. All fucking day. That's what I mean. The only thing that beats Senna is Senna. That's it. The only time you see Senna fucking lose.
Challenge accepted.
Or his car has an issue.
So we got some serious points on Senna, right?
Senna's sick, bro. He's fucking good.
The consistency and ability.
Out of all of the names, I'd be going Soz and Senna are probably my 2 picks that will be either first and second.
How's that feel, Soz?
Keneally has a really good shot, right? However, Keneally, very much the same as Senna. If he gets in his own fucking head, it's all over. Right? And he's got big dick
fucking, you know, I'm the big dick, right? So out of everybody there, he has the most to fucking lose. He's the twisted villain. He's the I'm Australia's best drifter. He's the fucking wank nom nom. And that's not saying anything to him. I fucking hardly know the dude, right? Like, I'm not talking shit. I'm saying this is what you see from the outside. And so think about what's going on in that cunt's head when he's got amateurs, and if one of you puts it on his fucking door, man, he will shit bricks. He will shit bricks and he'll fuck up like he does. Because he's not expecting an amateur to fucking put it on him. Especially at a track where he will feel like he has a massive advantage because it's majority amateurs and he's got that little, you know, he's been bitching and whinging and doing that shit. And, he will be going in there to try and put that game on and do what a pro drifter does and try and get people to make mistakes. And if you guys give it back to him, he's not going to handle it. He's going to humble, and you guys are going to get him. 100% aggression.
If I was going to put home ground advantage, set up with a car, power-wise, I'll put my money on Clee.
Yeah, you can drive that.
How's he driven that track?
Hundreds of times.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that changes things.
He's the regional president of that club.
Right. All right. So you, it'd be Soz, Senna, and Clee. That if I didn't know that, I didn't know Clee drives you that much.
Honestly, I would put fucking $1,000 right now on the top 3.
Straight to the pokies. Let's go.
On the slaps.
Do you know who the outsider is? I don't know who the outsider is.
Outsider.
Dane has the fucking outsider's chance, bro. If that car works,
I'll tell you, outsider chance.
Then I'll put money on
right in front of you. Nah, not him.
Two stories. Two stories.
I take no offense to that.
But outside chance.
If everyone else fucks up, how are you rude?
Bradbury.
I will be like Bradbury.
He would be the Bradbury. If we're going to pick a Bradbury, it would be Anthony all day.
So Dane definitely for me outside chance if his car works. If that car rocks and it rocks,
Dane's got it. On our normal local days, when you see a car bacon, it's always fucking this car too. So he's the.
Oh, he looked sick in the video I watched earlier. He had great transitions. Your switch was really good.
Told you to mod on.
It was like a stoke.
Love it. 5 years old tires. 5 years old tires.
Keen, eh?
I'm keen for tomorrow. I'm keen.
I suppose the super exciting driver for me would be Geddes, Jaden. If Jaden's fucking car works, man, that dude puts it on your fucking door. If there's one dude there tomorrow that can chase like one son of a motherfucker, that is Geddes.
Is that only 26?
Yeah, 26-14, right? My biggest thing is I wish he would de-stance it a bit, put a slightly smaller fucking rim on the back and a slightly smaller rim on the front, and just get into that consistency of having a solid car. Listen to me, Jaden. Fucking do it. But no, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited for so many reasons.
If Gaffo has the car,
fuck Gaffo! If Gaffo's car has a good car on him.
Gaffo not scared to send it. That's
no.
Did you like that one? If Gaffo has a good car.
And let's be honest. I mean, I'm from Victoria, right?
Dude,
you guys are
Queenslanders. He's like one of the best drivers I've ever seen. But if that
the way they make us steer an AU with a fucking flogged out fucking.
Did you see one of Gaffo's battles?
Flogged out AU.
Flogged out AU.
You guys are from
33. You guys are serious version of 33 and he fucking hit the wall behind me and then launched it into Nico and got airborne? Did you not see that? Gaffo's chasing me, right? I flicked into Nico.
Spit it out.
Gaffo's totally.
Spit it out, Tony.
Come on, Tony.
I'm just saying, so I feel like an outsider in this crew, right? But like, you guys are all frothing your own drivers, you're so keen for all of your mates and everything else and all the different cars. I'm so keen for tomorrow. It's going to be so sick. Because I feel like I'm such an outsider looking in. And you guys know all each other, you know? It's really, really cool. It's going to be such a good day.
You know who I wish was here, to be honest? If there was one driver that I could add in the mix tomorrow, it'd be Dale's campaign. DC. I would love to see.
I want to see Finky here.
Hit that track. No, I think Sid.
Look at the Victoria boys.
Sid's not going to compete with this, right?
Jason would be awesome to see.
That track, imagine the jump.
Yeah.
Imagine Snail just pull up! Like, it'd land on fucking 2 rear wheels and just go,
We took the jump
Even
out
Tom
because
over that.
someone.
Yeah, I know what he did. Wait, I'm expecting before you went there,
Alright.
can you tell a story about boxing?
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
No Joe Rogan, you're
Go run out of time.
Is this where I like walk over and get me kicked out?
I don't think you got the cock for that.
I definitely don't. I definitely do not. No one would see
I can't
it.
edit the small things out.
Next thing you turn around, you're like, is that a pube?
Shut up.
Schulte, go for it.
Wrap it up, Raz.
Looking forward to tomorrow. Thanks to all these boys for jumping in.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a fat day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Make sure you get on, like, comment, subscribe, do everything. Follow Terror Squad. Follow the
Buy their
Australian
shirts.
Institute of Motorsport as well. Follow Tony. He does MC everywhere.
Yeah. What's the Instagram? What's the Instagram?
YNOTSX. YNOTSX.
There we go. Jump on that. But we will see you all again. We're gonna have a fat time tomorrow.